day to all. My name is Lynn. I'm from Department of Logistics. Today we are going to discuss the topic containers. A container is a sealed, reusable metal box used to hold goods that has to be transported by vessels, truck or rail. You have been familiar with the word container. Container is a metal box. It's mostly used to carry cargo to different locations using vessels. Vessels means ships, trucks. You will be seeing the trailers which carrying containers. Then rail. In rail also we have in Vallarpadam we have a railway system. From the port we can transport the containers to rail and ship to other destinations. So the container have a standard dimension. The container is a metal box with a standard dimension. The standard dimension is like 20 feet and 40 feet. The all the world, the same dimension is being used. So the same container can be loaded onto the vessel. That same container can be loaded onto the truck and to the rail. So it have a standard, a universal dimension. Coming to the next feature, all containers all the containers have been loading and unloading using cranes only. So once the container comes to the seaport, we have to offload that container to the trucks. Directly from the ship, we use container gantry cranes to offload the containers to the trucks, and we used rail mounted gantry cranes to offload the containers to the rail. Like from the port, after unloading it from the ship, from the port we use rail mounted gantry cranes to load it onto the rails. And we use cranes like reach takers, equipments like reach takers. By using reach takers, we can load the containers to the rail also, as well as to the trucks, trailers. So all the containers have a unified, individual number. It have been numbered, and with that number we can track the container. So there is a software for every liner. If this is a container photo, there is a number for each container. By using that number in that website, we can track their container. So once we track the container, we will be able to know where the container is. If it is in Europe, it will be showing like it is in Europe. If it is in traveling in the Middle Sea, it will be showing like it is in Middle Sea, traveling in the ships, like that. So in transit and in the destination, how much time it takes to reach the destination, everything will be clear to the customer. So there are a number of containers. We are discussing the basic types of containers only. So there are different types of containers in it. So the first type of container is dry storage container. The most commonly used shipping containers. They are the mostly used containers, and they comes in various dimensions standardized by ISO. They have a standard dimension, universally applicable to all over the world. They are used for shipping of dry materials. This container is mostly using dry cargos, and comes in the size of 20 feet and 40 feet and high cube. So dry materials means general cargoes like machineries, cereals, which are in dry nature. Electronic items, machineries, big machineries, spare parts, everything comes under this dry cargo. So a 20 feet container, a 40 feet container and high cube are the standard containers. So a 20 feet container have a dimension of 20 feet length. The length will be like 20 feet. And width will be like 8 feet and height of 8.6 feet. So this will be 8.56 feet height. Width will be 8 feet, and the length will be like 20 feet. If it's a 20 feet container, the length will be 20. If it's a 40 feet container, the length will be 40, and the height and width will be the same. And in case of high cube, the height only difference. When we call high cube, the containers will be having a height of, this is a standard 20 feet container and this is a high cube container. So height will be little more higher than the standard. Here the standard container is having only 8.6 feet. High cube container will be having 9.6 feet height. So dry containers mostly we use 20 feet, 40 feet, that is standard size and high cubes. Then next type of containers are flat rack containers. Flat rack containers are equipped with collapsible sides. You can see this side walls. Side walls can be collapsed. These are like simple storage shipping containers where the side can be folded so as to make a flat rack for the shipping of a wide varieties of goods. So earlier we discussed about the standard containers like it for 20 feet and 40 feet. Here also the size of the container will be 20 feet and 40 feet, but earlier in standard dry containers we have a limit. We have a limit for width. It was around 8 feet, and height it was around 8.6 and 9.6. But some cargoes we will be shipping cargoes which have more height than 9.6 and 8.6, and width maybe like more than 8 feet. So we use flat rack containers for over dimensional cargoes which are not fitting into the dry containers. We use flat rack containers. So here there is no limit. Like the cargo can come out the width. If the cargo have a width of 10 or 12 feet, the container base will be like 8 feet only, but the cargo can come out. So we can, it's like a bed. So we can put the cargo on top of this. Most of the cargoes like boilers, big machines, over dimension machines, everything will be shipped using flat rack containers. Then next type of container is open top container with a convertible top that can completely removed to make an open top so that the material of any height can be shipped easily. So these type of open top container are mostly used to ship cargoes which have heights. Like earlier we told, like in standard size container the height is limited to 8.6. So if you have a cargo to ship which have a height of 10 or 12 feet height, we have to use open top containers. So this open top is a convertible top only, so it can be removed and we can load the cargoes with heights. Next is tunnel containers. Container storage units provide with the doors on the both end of the container. They are extremely helpful in quick loading and unloading of materials. This tunnel type of containers, we have doors at both ends. So if you have to load packed cargoes like small packages, we have to load it by stacking each packages on one another the above. So if we have a door this side and that side, we can load the containers from here and there. Likewise, we can unload the cargo very fastly. So in other so some materials will be like having a number of packages. So we use containers like this to ship cargoes which have been packed in a more quantity. Then the next type of container is refrigerated ISO containers. These are temperature regulated shipping containers that always have a carefully controlled low temperature. They are exclusively used for shipment of perishable substances like fruits, vegetables over a long distance. Here, the container, size of the containers are standard 20 feet and 40 feet. The height and width are everything same. Here, the difference is that this container is mostly used to ship cargoes which are perishable in nature, like fruits, vegetables. They have to be kept in a controlled temperature. So mostly like refrigerator, like a fridge, we use these containers to ship the cargo. So it should be powered. Like without power, it can only work for 6 or 8 hours. So when we stack these containers in trailers as well as rails as well as ships, it has to be plugged in. Next type of container is tanks. Container storage units used mostly for transportation of liquid material. They are mostly made of strong steel or other anti-corrosive material, providing them with a long life and protection to the material. So the standard size of the container is 40 feet and 20 feet itself. The container is having a frame with 20 feet of length. Height will be like 8.6 and width will be like 8 feet. So the size will be the same like standard containers, but the cargo which are we carrying in this type of containers are chemicals or liquid character features cargoes only. So mostly chemicals. The container is being made up of anti-corrosive material, so that we can use many chemicals which are very highly dangerous in nature also. So mostly these ISO tankers are used to carry chemicals and liquid cargoes. So today we have been discussing the topic on container. Hope you all understand about the basic knowledge of the container. We have came to the end of the section. Thank you for watching.